Yo, it's Clone here, back with another video. As you see in the title, I'm just going to be giving you an idea of what kind of teams you should be using for My Team Limited this week. We'll go straight into it. The game conditions obviously is one pink diamond or diamond player, one amethyst player, one ruby, and then the rest has to be sapphire and below. So people have been complaining about how the whale's been having an advantage, and now it's like, especially during a week where they dropped free rubies, amethyst, well, a free ruby, amethyst, and diamond, and the amethyst and diamond are good, and Chris Mullin and LaMarcus Aldridge. They've been dropping free players, and I'll give 2K that they have been doing solid with dropping free players. So I'm not even going to think of the whales in mind. I'm gonna think of more like the people that's going to grind. I'll have a couple recommendations that will fit in the whales, but I don't really have too many of those high price cards in mind. Mainly because a lot of them are only good once you badge them up. So for the most part, I'm really just going to be talking about cards that don't need to be badged up. And it's not even a lot of cards that I really think someone should use, especially with this type of setup. I have it set in terms of Ruby and below who you should specifically use, and there should be no real switching it. I just sincerely think there's certain players we have to use. But I'll I can let me uh let me make this. Let me hope I'm pretty sure I spelled that right. My first recommendation in reality though, all bronze bench. Not because it affects the overall or anything, because that doesn't matter. There's no matchmaking and limited. It's more so for contract reasons. Um, just because with the way that stamina is so broken. So honestly, you can play your 5 players all game. Why have 5 players, but then you have a bunch of scrubs on the bench and you want to sub them out? That doesn't make sense. So just save your contracts. That's at least my opinion on it. But for point guard, my main recommendation will, and y'all probably gonna hate me for this one, a 6'8" point guard. Honestly, the 6'8" my player, or any my player point guard. If you didn't make a my player point guard, then I mean, uh, that's kind of salty. But that's where I have a couple recommendations, and I don't have Steph because I didn't grind for him. But the pink diamond Steph, there's really no way for me to show you guys him. Um, but yeah, pink diamond Steph, as you know, best shooter in the game, pretty good defender with that gold clamps. Even though he's only 6'3", but he's solid size for the point guard position at this point. This moment, quick first step. He's really hard to guard. Has great layup animation. I have trouble blocking his layups. But yeah, basically, if you don't got pink diamond Steph, then invest in, well, or you could do pink diamond John Wall. But I wouldn't really recommend that, because if you're gonna do John Wall, you might as well just use Don as your amethyst and leave a pink diamond spot open. Donovan Mitchell, if yeah, sure, we'll set this as my lineup. I didn't even think it would let me leave. All right, yeah, all right, cool. This is somebody I can show though, and the reason why I'm just saying Steph is because I'm thinking of it like, don't spend all your MT on players. Like Donovan Mitchell is basically going to be your John Wall. He can defend because he has what, bronze clamps, I believe. Oh yeah, he has bronze clamps, so he'll be a solid defender. Oh, this guy upgraded his clamps a little bit. I guess this one has gold clamps. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he comes with bronze clamps. I'm pretty sure he comes with silver flexible release. This is also another thing you should be looking for. Every single one of your players, or a majority of them at least, except for one in my recommendations, but everyone else besides one should have flexible release at least on silver. Um, Except for like a few recommendations who has it maybe on bronze or doesn't have it at all. But that's more so because of weakness in their positions, and not because I really would recommend, like, I just recommend having flexible release. But yeah, Don is a good shooter. I can't even find it. We'll just go to grades. He has A3. I'm pretty sure that's equates to like an 80-some three. He has good defense. He's fast. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna care about the tendencies too much, but yeah, it's good speed. He has half quick first step. So yeah, don't use John Wall. Use Don. For Ruby, I would say Chris Paul. Now I gotta find Chris Paul. He's in my thing, but I don't feel like looking for him. Uh, Chris Paul. Yeah, I recommend not this Chris Paul. That Chris Paul sucks. This Chris Paul, I wouldn't really recommend wasting a Ruby spot on him, but if it comes to that, like your point guard position is weak, you don't have the 6'8" mod player, you don't have Don, you don't have Steph, you don't like. I wouldn't recommend wasting your time with the other top point guards because they really you have to badge them up for them to be truly great. Besides, no, like every for them to be equal to Steph, you have to badge them up. So no, instead just use Chris Paul. He's similar to Don. Just if you ignore the drive and dunk, then he's a good 3-point shooter. He's going to be able to defend. He's small, but he's still fast. He has silver clamps. They upgraded his quick first step, but he comes with silver quick first step, I believe, too, and he comes with silver flexible release. So he's a solid card overall. Those are like some of the main things I'm looking for is clamps, flexible release, because I want them to be able to play defense at the same time. But like if I'm struggling to shoot, I want them to be able to hit some whites if I get some momentum. But the last card I would recommend is where is he? I'm gonna actually change you out just in case people don't have you. If you don't have him, I would recommend using someone like a Dame, not like Spud Webb, but like a Dame. Cause he'll be good on offense. But where is he at? Oh, did I not get him? Oh, cool. Okay. Fun, cool. There he is. Booby Gibson, cause he can shoot. He's not gonna be a defender, but guess what? He's fast. He can shoot. He can be a primary ball handler, and he comes with quick first step and flexible release on gold, as well as a bunch of other good gold badges like catch and shoot, corner specialist, like things like that. Um, and I know you can add some solid badges to him. He's not gonna be able to play defense regardless, but that's fine. Honestly, you don't need him to play defense. Can he dunk? Yeah, and he's gonna be a dunker, so he's gonna be able to drive if he has the lane. He'll rise up. He's not gonna dunk over nobody, but he'll still dunk for you. The only problem with him is that he can't defend and he's only 6'2". But honestly, like if you switch him to someone without clamps, he'll be fine because there's going to be a lot of people running. I mean, not clamps, quick first step. There's going to be a lot of people running without quick first step on limited. Um, but yeah, where is my team at? Okay, cool. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. It's a little sneak peek for my next video. But at shooting guard, in my honest opinion, it should only be 2 shooting guards that you consider. The first one is Grant Hill. I'm gonna talk about him later because he's in my small forwards recommendations. It's just if you want to play him at shooting guard, you can. Otherwise, he's in small forwards, isn't he? Yeah. I would say Brian Russell, just because I mean this, like he's gonna be able to hit shots. He's a solid defender. He's not super fast, but I mean a 74 speed at 6'8" probably equal like a 80 speed at 6'5" maybe, like something like that. Just so you can got the only flaw in my opinion for real is that he can't be a primary ball handler and he doesn't have flexible release. So he's someone who you will have to get his shot down. But I like his shot personally. Like it's not the fastest shot, but with that being said, slower at least with the meters, I know slower shots are a bit easier to hit since you can actually time it. Like you got some, like you can wait for it to get to the green window. Without meter, it's a little bit longer, but I mean it's fine. It's still greenable in my opinion. I've greened multiple shots with him throughout my limited run today. And he hit a lot of clutch shots for me. Plus everyone should be used to him from beginning of the year, so this is gonna be my main position, like where it's like you should have no one but him, cause shooting guard, small forward should be interchangeable. So I just choose to put him in my shooting guard. You guys might want him in the small forward. So, but regardless, the wing position, Brian Russell should be one of your wings. At small forward, I did in my recommendations, I do say if you have, like, I honestly wouldn't even recommend it, but if you have, oh, wrong Zion. Diamond. Is any on the market yet? He's so expensive. But if you do have him, like if you pulled him or if you got the bread to buy him, use Zion. He's honestly one of the first perfect auctionable cards. He's 6'6", can run the small forward, which isn't really tall for the small forward, but he has a 92 driving layup, 93 3. Like he can handle the ball, speed boost. He's fast. He has all the important badges. He has a lot. He has 7 Hawk badges, all the important badges on gold. Like I mean, I can't tell you not to use him if you have him. So that's literally all. If you have him, use him. But most players don't, so no. Um, Grant Hill is my second. Oh, if you have him, use him. Otherwise, I really could care less about him. Just because, same thing with the Donovan Mitchell thing. He has quick first step on Huff. I'm pretty sure he comes with clamps on goal, and the only thing he doesn't come with is range, but he can get range. So I mean, most likely, if you're getting Grant Hill, you can afford to buy him range. So if you have that, that's an unstoppable player at the end of the day in this game mode. So I would say go after him. Or a free guy is Chris Mullins. I wouldn't really recommend it because he doesn't have quick first step. He can't be a primary ball handler. He's just a spot. He's a catch and shoot defender. But he's one of the best catch and shoot defenders in the game because he's one of the best shooters in the game, if not the best, and still a solid defender with the silver clamps. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. But if you have him and you're like, yeah, he's my top player, use him. But in my opinion, um, where is he at? Amethyst Clay is my Amethyst recommendation if you use your pink diamond up. But if you're going to use Amethyst Clay, might as well leave that Amethyst spot open, and I can never find him. I don't know how I always do them. I would still say use this Clay because he's basically slightly worse Amethyst Clay, and in reality, the only difference I really feel between them, albeit Klay Thompson has an easy shot, Amethyst Clay hits a few more whites, but Klay Thompson, Ruby Clay hits a lot of whites still. But Amethyst Clay is a lot faster than Ruby Clay. That's really the only difference I feel. Oh, and yeah, of course, the other one has gold clamp, so he's a better defender. But like, he gives you basically 80% of what Ruby Clay does, and then that leaves you with more amethyst spots open. Of course, I'm really just putting together my team because I feel like my team, I put it together for it to be hard to beat. The only weakness is my mod player because of the lack of shooting badges. So you would have to have your mod player shot down. But most people don't catch on to that till the end of the game. If they catch on to it early, honestly, I just do a bunch of I just go through who I have at power forward, Paul Pierce. You can also use Zion here if you didn't use him at the small forward recommendation. I mean position. I personally prefer running guys like Paul Pierce. I do small ball from the 1 to 4. Oh, I also use my mod player because it adds size. So then there's always going to be somebody in this game mode without quick first step. Um, and I just put him on him. And no matter what the size is, the mod player is going to at least do solid against them. If it's a center, the mod player might get beat because of the strength difference. But if you're smart, you can defend some centers inside, at least some of their shots. But yeah, I chose Paul Pierce. Albeit, like I'm out of wheel. As you see, I'm using all originally owned players. Um, I'm not out here with the top players in the game. I just had players that I grinded for. Of course, like I said, if you have Zion, though, use Zion. Otherwise, for Diamond and Amethyst, the reason why I'm saying Diamond and Amethyst is because it doesn't matter if you choose to use. I probably would prefer Amethyst version. But how do you spell it? The only person I would really recommend between Diamond and Amethyst, and probably not even Diamond as much, is Kevin Durant, just because he's 6'9", with a good three, can handle the ball. His defense is solid, but his size will make that defense even better. He's pretty fast for his size, and he has a lot of good shooting badges. Well, badges overall. Albeit, you wish that he could be just a little bit better, but I mean, he has range, clamps, quick first step, and he still has some sort of flexible release. Not the best kind, because I still would recommend it on silver at least. But Kevin Durant's solid. Like, I'm not even going to act like that he wouldn't be. Or you could use this one, which is basically a slightly worse version of the other one, but this one's 6'10", so you add an extra inch to get slightly worse. He can still do everything. He's just slightly worse than the other one. It's like a Klay Thompson situation, except this one can't defend. This one can't defend, but he becomes a better shooter. Well, in terms of range, he gets better range. So he's not really a better shooter, but he gets range. So I mean, you give up some ball handling ability and defense for a little bit more length and range. But yeah, these would be my two recommendations for the power forward in terms of the Diamond and Amy spot. Otherwise, for Ruby, I would recommend, where is he at? If it comes to it, if you choose to waste one of your Ruby spots on this. Oh, there he is. Brian Scalabrine. Just because he's a good shooter. Where is he at? Good shooter with the 86-3 and a good defender. He's not super fast, but he's 6'9" as well, so he has some good size on him. In terms of small ball mindset, he has clamps. He has some good shooting badges. He'll basically be like Brian Russell, but at your power forward. So he is somebody that you're going to have to probably get their shot down first if you want to use him. Or if you want somebody that you don't have to get their shot down, I would say Danielle Marshall. I didn't know Danielle Marshall. All he can do is shoot, but he can shoot and he has solid size. I didn't know that he didn't even have flexible release, because he was, when I first got the game, I mean when I first started playing, when they updated the shooting, Danielle Marshall was hitting so many whites for me. He's the reason why I got Paul Pierce, because he just hit so many whites. I couldn't believe it. It went from a game where no one can shoot to Danielle Marshall hitting every white that I shoot. So that's the only reason why. So that might be a bias on in terms of me liking him. And just some smaller recommendations of who you guys should pick. Not this LeBron. Where is it at? If you're in Sapphire, it's going to sound contradictory to like my playstyle, because clearly I'm recommending shooters that can defend, and LeBron is neither, because he can't shoot and this LeBron doesn't have clamps or anything. But this LeBron has unstoppable dunking animations, and he has fake quick first step. Like him, Kobe, guys like that, for some reason, like they don't have quick first step, but for some reason they still blow by anybody. I'm pretty sure it's because of downhill. For LeBron's case, he blow bys though. He's easy blow bys. In terms of like him having the ball, he blow by a lot of people. Other than that, I would say Zion, because even though Zion is short, I can't stop him. I'm gonna say I can't stop that. He has an 86 standing dunk, 93 driving dunk. With a, where's his dunk tendency? With a 100 dunk for everything dunking, he has a 100 dunk tendency. So he's dunking every single time, and he has some good badges in terms of inside. And if you catch the momentum, he'll hit shots. Otherwise, I would say I don't have Chris Porzingis or Jeff Green, but Jeff Green, because he has bronze clamps and bronze quick first step, and he can shoot with solid size, and he's athletic. So he's a solid guy if you're using an Emerald or a KP, just because I found players that use KP at power forward just get annoying, solely because they have this 7'3" power forward, and if their center is a good shooter, then it's solid. But keep in mind, KP doesn't have flexible release, which is why he has a very inconsistent jump shot, because if you don't green it, he's missing. So for me though, At center, my main recommendation is LaMarcus Aldridge. As you see, my team is my main recommendations. And then I just give someone else, just in case you don't have these guys, or in case you don't like these guys, like you don't have a mod player, or you don't have Paul Pierce, or you might not like Brian Russell for some odd reason. Um, but at center, the only time I would say don't use LaMarcus Aldridge, and I'm not going to show you these guys because I don't have them, is George Mikan, because he's a great defender inside. He's only 6'10", but he's still really good. And he can shoot. He has flexible release on gold as well, so he's going to be able to hit whites, but he also has a greenable shot. So the whole reason why I'm also recommending flexible release is just because I'm hoping that you know how to green with your team. It's just that if you get the momentum and then you lose the green window, flexible release just gives you some leeway while you're trying to find a green window again, because it'll just let them hit more whites than if you didn't have it. That's all. It's just to help you find a green window though at the end of the day, just to give you some leeway. Tim Duncan, if you have him with gold range, otherwise don't use him. Same thing with Blake. If Blake Griffin is not badged up, then don't use him. But Tim Duncan and Blake, if you have those, use them. Don't use LaMarcus Aldridge. Otherwise, use LaMarcus Aldridge and give him flexible release on gold. That's my recommendation, at least. If you don't do that though, I would say use LaFrentz and use your Ruby tier on LaFrentz, because he does have gold flexible release. Or Bargnani, because he has flexible release on bronze, but he also has bronze range. And then I'll show you the Sapphire guy. Sapphire, no, wrong person. I would recommend Chris Bosh. If you don't have those other guys, or you're like, I'm not wasting my Ruby tier on Bargnani, then use Chris Bosh by all means. I mean, he's solid speed for what the centers are. I mean, he's faster than the center. I recommend. He has solid rebounding stats. He's solid on the inside. He's not the best, but he's solid at least. He's not the most athletic player, but guess what? He can hit threes with the coach. That's a 80. Depending on your coach, that could be an 82-3. Floor general, at least on gold, can throw that up to 80, 85. Throwing a shoot, that's an 88 3-point shot. Like, I played against multiple Chris Boshes where I checked their stats and they have 85s. What else? He has solid post stats, but nobody cares about the post in this game because they broke it. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, like if you look at his badges, they aren't the greatest, but he has badges that lets him hit shots. That's honestly all that matters, is hitting badges that hit shots and good timing on defense. So Chris Bosh definitely would be a good Sapphire pick. It's just that me, I chose to use it on LaMarcus Aldridge. Like I said, don't use a bench, but if you do, then my Sapphire recommendations. Oh, I didn't even say it. If you end up not using this as your Ruby pick, then just use Emerald Clay. If I can find it, use Emerald Clay. It's a worse Clay. It's Clay with it, but he has an 85 3-point shot. He's still gonna be solid on defense, as you see. His defensive stats are just slightly worse than Ruby's. As well as he'll still have silver range, catch and shoot. The only flaw is that he doesn't have a sort of flexible release. But Clay has one of the best jump shots in the game, in my opinion, or at least best catch and shoot jump shots. So I would say I would say use Clay at the end of the day. In any type of Clay for the small forward, in my opinion, Brian Russell and Klay Thompson should be your wing duo, and then you should be picking between point guard, power forward, and center on in terms of who your pink diamond is going to be, your amethyst, and then your last sapphire. In my opinion, these two should look like this on every team, and then probably try to add range somewhere else. But that's the video. I'm probably going to upload one of me taking the team out. Oh, but just so y'all know, like the team I used, I got the ring second game in. Like I wasn't playing. I really got my ring. But yeah, that's the video. If you like it, then like the video, subscribe for more. Comment, let me know what you like, what you didn't like. But I'll catch y'all in the next one.